I'm going to start with my concerns. I have shared my deep concerns with the funding allocation for MCPS. I want to also share my concerns with the drafting process for this budget. There was a public process and then there was a private process. The weeks-long public process was robust and transparent, consisting of public hearings, numerous work sessions, and substantive dialogue with the executive branch, stakeholders, and each other. We made many hard decisions as a body to cut tens of millions of dollars in spending. And eventually, we deemed 156 items as high priority new investments. There was then a private process, compressed into 3 days, in which we made further cuts of items that had just been deemed high priority in public to determine this final reconciliation list before us today. In the past, this private process has usually determined amounts less than $10 million. This year, it was hundreds of millions, with very little space for meaningful discussion with colleagues and none of it in public. I do not believe this kind of process will result in the optimal budget for our county, nor an understanding from our constituents as to how we came to these impactful decisions following those public exercises. As Councilmember Albornoz noted, this is a beginning. I think we can and must do better. As has been said, to fund all of those items that we agreed were high priority during the public process would require a 5.7 cent property tax increase. In order to get to the 4.7, we cut new Vision Zero pedestrian safety items, new funding for the Green Bank to accommodate their expanded mission, positions responsible for implementing parts of our climate action plan, increased funding for overflow sheltering for unhoused residents, increased inflation offsets for our nonprofit partners who provide vital services to residents, and more, all of which, again, we had just voted after long public discussions to identify as high priority. I strongly believe, I wish we would have had more opportunity for meaningful collaboration about any changes to that list and in the view of the public. I also concur with the sentiments of Councilmember Balcombe that we missed an opportunity to dive deeper into review of the base budget, and I include myself in that. I wish that if I went back in time, that would have been part of my mission from the start, and I know better moving forward, and I believe that we must all see this as a necessary part of our work moving forward. So clearly I have some frustrations with this budget. I do also want to acknowledge that my colleagues worked extremely hard and in the end supported many important programs that are on the list, especially social safety net programs in the Department of Health and Human Services. I deeply appreciate the thoughtful collaboration with my colleagues on the Public Safety Committee, Chair Katz and Councilmember Ludicky, and my colleagues on the Education and Culture Committee, Chair Jawando, Councilmember Albornoz. I thank my colleagues for their ongoing partnership and dedication to the county and our residents as we wrestled with difficult choices. I thank the hardworking council staff that makes this all possible, and I cannot possibly express the depth of my appreciation and admiration for the staff in my office, Chris, Wes, Anna, Frankie, David, and Carlene. And I too respect the will of this body and that we must pass a budget. And I have thought deeply about where that lands me. And as you have seen, my personal decision is that I cannot support this budget because of how we arrived here and my belief that we are not providing our school system with the resources it needs to succeed. I'm also committed to using my role on the Education and Culture Committee with Chair Jawando and Councilmember Albornoz to help the public and the full council see and understand exactly how MCPS is spending their dollars and why. As I have seen from my own deep dive, which has gotten significantly deeper even in the last couple of weeks, it is an overdue shift that will help us make better budget decisions moving forward. I look forward to the work ahead with colleagues. I know we share goals and values, and I share the belief that next year, together, we will be in an even better position to take on an even tougher budget.